Hey guys, TechNinja with the video for you guys. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing iOS 15 on the iPhone SE, the first generation. This is probably one of the oldest phones that's still around and that's able to get iOS 15 update. Really exciting stuff considering how old this phone is. This phone, as you know, was released in 2016 and now we're in 2021, and it's been over 5 years since the phone has released. Compared to some of the other smartphones in the market, it doesn't go that much in terms of software update nowadays where phones don't last. But as you can see here, the iPhone SE updated to iOS 15.0.1, which was a minor update that came out this week, and we decided to upgrade it just so we can do the video and show you guys if you're able to update it and how that's going to look like. So if you haven't checked out the update and have iPhone SE, simply connect to a good Wi-Fi and then go to General and then just head over to Software Update, and you'll see that update right there, and you can update to iOS 15. So as you can see, the phone was able to successfully update and install iOS 15, and there's a lot of features that come with iOS 15. And for a phone that's the iPhone SE, which, if you know, it's been around for a while, it's probably one of the smaller devices that you can have right now that is supported on the latest version of iOS. Of course, the iPhone 6 doesn't get the iOS 15 update because it's stuck on 12. But if you have a 6S or a 6S Plus, you're going to be able to update it along with this first generation of the iPhone SE. So that's the good news about it. Initially, earlier in the year, there was a lot of speculation that Apple was going to drop the support of iOS 15 on the iPhone 6S lineup and the first generation of the SE. But as you know, that's not the case. And the interesting and most surprising thing is that if you look at the newer iPhones, starting with the iPhone 12 lineup, Apple actually went back to this design, and this design was really unique. It's a compact phone, and probably a phone that if you're using it, it's most likely just for your basic calling, texting, and browsing, although it can do pretty much anything that the new phone can do. Of course, camera isn't going to be as like the new phone, the battery isn't going to be as great as, like, the performance isn't going to be as up to speed, but it's sort of like a phone that still can do a lot of the things, probably good 70% of the things that you would do on a newer phone. And then we say that because, as you'll see here, updates beginning with the Safari here, where you have the navigation bar down below and these tabs that are new to the whole ecosystem of the Safari redesign are all possible even on the iPhone SE that we have here. Other things to note is that although this phone is a 4.4-inch phone, as you see here, you're able to do pretty much anything from watching videos, listening to music, and much more of that. So, and you also get these app widgets, which was really introduced on iOS 14, but with iOS 15 they're still around, and you have these app libraries. You can have these bigger widget if you haven't updated past iOS 9, which was originally on the iPhone SE, and to get to iOS 15, as you know, 6 years, 6th generation later, we're still supported on the major latest version. And because it's updated to the latest version here, it probably is the last version. You'll probably get iOS update. We suspect iOS 16 when it comes out won't be supported. But some of the features that we notice on the iPhone SE here, of course, as you mentioned, the camera is not going to be the greatest camera. You don't have cinematic mode, which is only possible on the iPhone 13, which we recently did unboxing to show you guys. But here, as you know, you're able to take some good pictures. You're actually able to record in 4K as well. So as you can see here, we're able to record in 4K and do a lot of that. You have the redesign of the map that comes along with the new update, so that's going to be another cool feature. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you check that out as well. Weather app as well, you'll notice here redesigned to the weather app itself, the smaller and more cleaner feature that's possible. You're going to have updates to FaceTime as well. Here you're able to sign into FaceTime, send people links so they can join your FaceTime. So overall, for this phone, if you're looking for probably one of the cheapest phones right now on the market that's supported on iOS 15. This is where the iPhone SE comes in. It's one of those beginner phones, maybe a phone that's a backup phone, maybe for your child, someone younger that's not looking to do too much, but still wants to have things like iMessage and FaceTime and all the iOS apps, because some apps aren't available on Android that are available on the iPhone devices or iOS devices. That's where the software of the iPhones really come in handy, and that's probably one of the reasons why you have such a big fan base for Apple iPhones in general and Apple products in general because of that support. So as you'll notice here, as we were opening some of the games with iOS 15 update, you notice slight bit of lag, but that's sort of the phone itself because it is such an older generation phone. You're gonna have to always kind of wait a second or two before you launch an app, because of course even on the older iOS it's going to be the same case where you're going to have to wait momentarily before you start launching apps and being able to do something like that. But that's normal performance for the iPhone SE here, and that's not something to be concerned of because all of the major updates, again, because iOS 15 is updated, you're going to get all the apps without any issues, and that's why you always want to be on the latest version of the software, because as iOS gets updated, apps are getting updated, and you want to make sure you're always on the latest version, because once you start not getting the major updates, that's when you sort of have the issues where apps are not supported any longer, and now you have to do other things to get an app running on your phone, and which something you don't want to do overall. So performance-wise, the phone performs like it did on iOS 14 or iOS 13 that it was. There's that bit of slowness isn't really something that's coming with iOS 15. You're gonna have that. Battery life on iOS 15 for the iPhone SE, it's gonna be not really going to impact it as much because the battery on the iPhone SE is a 1624 mAh battery. It's a small battery compared to the newer phones that have close to 3000 mAh. That's half the mAh. This phone, if you're using it very lightly, you might be able to get throughout the full day without any issues, and that's going to be if you're just simply using it for calling and texting and maybe little light browsing. But if you're more on a medium user or even a heavy user, medium user, probably going to get halfway the day before you need to recharge again. If you're a heavy user, probably 1/3 of the day before it needs to be on a charge, especially with the apps nowadays where they consume up a lot of power and they constantly require that sort of power to run, and that's probably why the newer smartphones out there, even iPhones, have bigger size battery, because you need a bigger size battery to do any of that. So that's kind of our experience so far with the iPhone SE on iOS 15. It does take some time to download. It took us about good 40 minutes or so. Again, these updates are big updates, so if you don't have good internet, it could take longer. Sometimes you can download it overnight so you don't have to wait for it, and make sure when you do download it that you're connected to a power source, because you don't want the battery to die midway or through the installation. That could cause some issues. So hopefully this video is helpful for you guys. Also want to hear from you guys if you're experiencing or had issues with iOS 15 on your iPhone. Leave a comment in the comment section so everyone can see. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.